Hello, this is the third episode of Shit Guys Say to Cam Girls, the new Cam Model podcast sponsored by Bolin Models. I am Taja Ethereal, and I am talking to the wonderful independent cam model, Jessica Jade. How are you tonight?
I am so good. I'm so happy to finally talk to you.
Me too. I'm excited. I was like, hell yeah. Because we were playing we had the worst case of Skype. What do you call it? Skype tag, like phone tag, Skype tag. It was like timing, and then it was like a couple of days where it was just like the energy was low. So I was like, man, I want to talk to her. But you know, I've had the biggest crush on you. It's something I think I have a thing for Canadian cam girls. I don't know what's going on.
You don't say that. We've been Twitter friends for as long as I can remember. Like probably the entire time I've been in this industry, so 2 years.
Yeah. So I was like, and then I noticed that I was like, wait, she's in Canada. And then I started noticing a couple other Canadians. I don't know how that happened, but like, I mean, honestly, I'm not like, I'm not fetishizing Canadian cam girls. I'm just saying.
Well, we are the very best, if I don't say so
myself. Okay, all right, settle down. But like, I did notice that like quite a few of my my faves. Like, I have like faves for different cam models, like hustlers, people who have really good attitudes, who are positive, and you check off all those boxes. So I'm happy to talk to you.
I'm so happy to talk to you. Maybe it's the maple syrup. It just makes us happy.
Is that what it is?
Could be.
But don't make me make pancakes tonight. That's terrible. Breakfast or late night dinner. So wait, okay, exactly. So your main campsite, I'm pretty sure I know what this is. It's CamModelDirectory, right?
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's your go-to site. I was just peeking in on CamModelDirectory, and I looked at it, checked it out. I used to be on there, but I never really had. I'm an independent cam model too, but I do mostly like cam sites, like not through directories, but I use a lot of IndieBill for my billing, which coincidentally has purchased CMDs. So now it's like one of my favorites and yours. So how's that working out? I'm sorry.
Well, so far so good. I mean, I really haven't seen that much of a change. Mm-hmm. It's kind of been a seamless transition. I don't really have one thing to say about it, one or the other. Mm-hmm. Like some people have said that since IndieBill has taken over, it's gotten slower, but I frankly think it's just the time of year, because right now, until those tax returns come back, it'll be a little quiet, and that's just seasonal, I think. So I don't think there's been any change. It's been a really seamless transition as far as I'm concerned. Pretty well done, and we'll just see what happens. I think that it will evolve, and we'll just wait and see what happens.
So wait, how long you said you've been a cam model for? How long? 2 years? 3 years?
2 years. I think it was March 6th.
Oh, okay. March Madness for you, huh?
Exactly.
So did you start out, like, did you ever go to a major campsite, or did you just start out as independent?
No, I started on StreamMate. That's where I very first started. Mm-hmm. I signed up to Kitty's Cam Models, which is under Catherine Taylor. Mm-hmm. And that's how I got my start in the industry. And I did StreamMate exclusively from March until I think like September, and that's when I kind of learned. Somebody told me, it was so random. I was on Twitter, of all things. Twitter saves my life on a regular basis, and I was having
people. It's a whole nother world on Twitter. But go ahead.
It is. It's because we all work from home. A lot of us feel super remote, like completely independent is definitely a word I would use. So you're pretty isolated. So I was having some type of technical issue on StreamMate, and I tweeted, and I was like, is anybody else having this issue? Can anyone else help me? Someone replied, and we were tweeting back and forth.
What is going on?
It's like my Skype is dinging at me. I don't know. How do I turn that off?
What's a dinging?
It's cute. Like it's messages.
When people are like, oh, that's the Skype sound on Mac?
Yes.
Oh, Okay.
I'm trying to change my settings right now so that we don't have this going. Okay, so otherwise it's gonna be digging the whole
It's
time.
so funny because I'm like, what is that? Because that's not how it sounds when it's Skype for Windows. I'm like, it sounds like Mario Brothers, like or like a video game. It's cute. So okay. So you said that you were you went into a studio immediately on
it was a remote studio, and honest to God, it was like the best thing I ever did because without Catherine, I would have been completely lost. I didn't know what. I remember when I started, I was like, "What is SPH? What is JOI? Like, what are these things?" Like, she saved my life. I probably would have quit before I even started without her.
What do you mean? Was it like a physical studio or was it a virtual studio?
So it was virtual studio. Like I signed up just through her online, and and I did that, and so she was super supportive to me, and that's how I kind of learned how to be a cam model. And I streammate, so I was tweeting and I was having tech issues. I connected with another cam model. We kind of became friends because we were having the same technical issue, and then we were DMing back and forth, and she told me, "Have you heard about Skype and cam shows through Skype?" And she said, "It's like something you should definitely add. It's a great way to kind of, you know, add another thing to your repertoire." And she told me about Sky Private and CMD at the same time. I was like, this sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So I signed up to both of them instantly. And as soon as I tried that, like literally, I just like, this is the way to go for me. I enjoyed it from minute one, and I thought, this is my thing. This is my groove. And so really, since then, I haven't really signed on to StreamMate much. Skype just seems to be a really good fit for me, and I've kind of gone the independent route ever since.
That's great because a lot of people have. Some people, it takes them a long time to go independent. Okay, so like this is sponsored by Berlin Models. So Berlin Models also has a virtual studio for cam models, but underneath the umbrella there's like 20 plus sites. So you can do Skype directory, you can do CamModelDirectory, you can also do StreamMate, you can do ChatterBait, MyFreeCams, you name it. All the major sites are within it, and then also like the clip sites like ManyVids, iWantClips, Clips for Sale now. So and then the big kicker for it is that you can get paid every day. Then you can also get marketing advice from me, and you can get promotions and stuff like that. So what I was saying is that sometimes it takes them a really long time when they start camming. They might start out, because sometimes we recommend people do start out on a cam site so they can test it out. But it takes some people several years before they like branch out into the world of independent, because they get really terrified. It's having to. I don't really know what it is. I try to understand what it is, why people are so afraid of being an independent like Skype cam model. But you know, you can do a directory, you can build up your own traffic, you can build up your own, maybe that's part of the scary part. But if you get on a good site like CamModelDirectory, which is one of our top sites in the daily pay program, it's a really good start out. It's a nice companion for some people who are on StreamMate or MyFreeCams or something. But yeah, you seem to have like a very similar way that I did it, because I've been on this for a really long time. But I started out doing phone sex, and then I went into started doing independent phone sex, and then that's like, fuck this, I'm gonna be on Skype too, you know. And then and then eventually I found out I had already started doing all that stuff, and then somebody told me about StreamMate and MyFreeCams, and I was like, oh. So I'd already been doing it, but not doing it. Crazy. I wasn't doing it the right way, though. I'm not gonna lie, because you and I, we talk a lot. I see your tweets about people with PayPal and stuff. I was one of those PayPal BBs. I was one of those PayPal BBs. Oh, don't hate me! Don't hate me! Don't hate me!
I'm so you learned, you rectified, you changed your ways.
But I didn't even know. Like, honestly, I didn't know, because I had it in writing. I had it in writing that what I was doing was okay. And then I was also advertising. I was building adult websites for other models and strippers at the time. So I had it in writing from somebody, like an email. saying that the way I was doing it, like having tribute buttons on my website at the time, was okay, but it wasn't. They just didn't know what they were talking about. They were just saying whatever. But yeah, I was a PayPal BB once upon a time, like 10 years ago.
That is so crazy. Oh my gosh.
I know that's like the bane of your existence.
It just drives me crazy because that's like, as you know, being an independent model, that's like the number one question that you get asked.
PayPal
like,
BB?
Yeah, exactly. PayPal BB? Amazon? Do you squirt? That's like the top, 3 requests. It's like really... So
I don't get the Amazon thing. The Amazon, like, I mean, clearly I don't. PayPal is bad. Like any type of like non-adult merchant account, it really does jeopardize your business, and then it makes it harder for the next model. But when I try to wrap my head around like Amazon, it's like I know you can buy things that you might actually need, but I don't want to like do a cam show and then try to flip that money into like, I mean, I'm trying to pay a car note.
Exactly.
Trying to pay my rent.
Can't pay. I always say can't pay my mortgage with Amazon gift cards. Sorry, but
yeah. So I don't want to have to flip gift cards, and it just seems to me like, I mean, kudos to you if you can get everything you need, but like I don't want to have to flip like dog food and like getting food pantry and stuff like that from my house with gift cards. Like I want to get that cash into my bank, and then I can determine what I want. I don't get it. It seems like a hard hustle. It just seems too like you're just doing too much work. But that's me. You know what I mean?
And it's a nightmare because I know so many cam models who have had they've been paid in gift cards, and then or someone has told them that they bought something off their wish list, and then so they do that, and then the order is canceled. Or they cancel the gift card before it's redeemed or whatever, and it's just one more way to get ripped off. Like the only way to be safely paid and know that you're covered, and also that there's no way to find out where you live or your or your name or any other personal details about yourself is to accept payment through an adult site. And it blows my mind. I can't understand why people like through IndieBill, for example, which you use all the time, like how is your safety or the risk of chargeback not worth 15%? Like, to me, my safety is worth 15% all day long. I just don't, it blows my mind that other people don't value that in the same way. I just can't understand it.
So for people who are listening, who are brand new, who are thinking about being a cam model, who don't quite understand the frustration and don't know what we're talking about, this is something that happens. A lot of people will enter the business. Some people, I think it's like just ignorance. I don't know if it's willful ignorance or whatever. Like myself, I didn't quite understand it. But like a lot of people will start in the business and will play around with PayPal and non-adult services like Google Pay. What is it? Google Pay, right?
Google Wallet.
Google Wallet. Sorry. And they'll do PayPal, then they'll try to do, there's another one, Cash.me, all these types of non-adult services that... Circle Pay, exactly. Circle Pay, I think, does, like, you can do payroll, but that's, like, business to peer, whatever. But, so what happens is when you, take those things, even though the percentage fee is, like, low, like 3 to 5% or something, it's non-adult. So once you get busted, and you will, and I can go into ways that you will get busted, but I feel like if I tell you how to get busted, I'm teaching you how to get away with it.
Yep, you will get busted. Every model I know has tried, one of these methods because we didn't know better, and we all somehow got burned. And I don't know, it hasn't got burned, and then, at least.
And then they'll keep your money. Because then like you provide the service to the customer, like say for instance if it's a custom video, a Skype show or whatever, you've already provided the service, but now you're not going to see that money, and they actually in most cases, because they don't really penalize the customer, and then guys will hustle you and then they'll reverse their charges or something. It's so many different things that they can do. So it's probably best to just go ahead and do a little investigation. You can do it on internet forums. You can do it on Google. Just look for adult merchant providers, whatever. And you know, like they have IndieBill, which is also now with Skype Directory. Sorry, it's not with CamModelDirectory.
Yeah.
How much is the percentage on CamModelDirectory?
So it's 75% for your first $500 every month, and then it goes up to 80.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and I mean it depends on the model, but you know, some people I guess probably never hit the 80%, but other people can do it within a couple days. So it's not. It just depends on how much you want to log in and what your commitment is. But I mean, to get to the 80% is definitely possible and feasible.
So and because I can't remember, do they cover chargebacks on?
They do. And a lot of people wonder why I drive so much traffic there with CamModelDirectory. But to me, I really look at it as an investment, that extra 5%. Like, and I do certainly, you know, utilize my get IndieBill and what, you know, whenever possible for different things. But with CamModelDirectory, I see that 5% gap as like an investment, because if you drive your traffic there, you know, then you get that 5% that you're giving up. You're ranking higher. The higher you rank, the more guys are going to add you. The more shows you're going to get. Then you're going to rank higher and higher and higher. And then literally, because I've been, you know, at the very top and I've been at the bottom of the page, so I know the difference. And the higher you get, the more shows you're going to get, the more customers you're going to get to interact with. And so I just really think of it as like advertising, an advertising fee.
Well, yeah, that's what it is. It's like a built-in advertising fee for that particular site. Like, you don't even have to do the advertising, because a lot of people, like with me, might post ads in different places on the internet, and then I also do a lot of blogging for myself and then social media, but that's like on-site advertising. But I do know that sometimes people, I don't really know what's going on. Like, that's why I'm excited to talk to you, because I scratch my head at CMD sometimes, but I know a lot of people who say that they are at the top, and because they paid for a feature and they can't get any cam shows. So I'm trying to figure out, not throwing anybody under the bus, because I think you're amazing and I absolutely believe you. I know that you're kicking ass, because I can just tell. But sometimes when you're talking on some type of formats, like forums, you don't really see the person. You don't know what's going on. But I do wonder sometimes, I'm like, how can this person pay for a feature and then they're not getting at least their money back for that week? So just what kind of tips would you offer, like, for a person, like for your profile for CamModelDirectory?
Definitely. Well, this site literally saved my life. Without CMD, I would not be in the business anymore. I didn't, you know, at the point where I joined CMD, I really didn't know if this was for me, because I really wasn't making much money. You know, I was like, the money I was making was not worth being naked on the internet for, that's for sure. It's money I could have made elsewhere, you know, just clocking in and clocking out. So when I joined CMD, I just kind of started, you know, and it was a mid-range model. And then actually what saved me was the ability, because I didn't really understand, I still was so new to the industry, I didn't understand how to utilize that new status. And that's so important to anybody joining any site. Before you sign up, find out what is your new status, how long do you have it for, and then only sign up and activate your account when you know you can be logged on as much as humanly possible and use that new status, because you only get it once. So, and I tell that to everybody, and I blew it, right? Because I didn't really know. So I thought, somebody else told me about bidding, and I thought, what the heck, I'm going to try it. And then that week that I bid, I am going to be online as much as I humanly possibly can. And so that's what I did, and I was able to, it just gave me enough visibility to get seen, because I do find with CMD, the only thing is, if you fall below that loading button, it is so hard. It is a struggle. So that should be your goal if you're on that site.
You said the loading button? What do you mean?
Yeah,
you mean
so
below the fold
yeah,
on the page?
Exactly.
Okay.
The loading button on the first page. So that was my goal, just get above that loading button consistently. And then from then I was able to really build a clientele. I revamped my profile. You know, I put pictures on there, listed everything I did. I put together different packages. and just kind of, and the biggest thing, you know, is logging in every day, keeping my hours consistent, and I just made that my #1 priority.
You said that C word. You said that C word, which is consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody says that when who's successful. Every successful person says consistency is the key.
Exactly, and it was just I made CMD my #1 priority. I tried to log in the same times every day, and just, you know, utilize that. I wonder if people don't. I've read the same things you've read. We are members on all the same forums because I see you everywhere, and I honestly don't know how people can bid and they don't get their money back. It's like, are you, like, how much are you logging in? When are you logging in? You know, when are, like, are you logging in at peak times? Are you, like, I don't know, because
so here's another thing. You said peak time. Some people may not know what a peak time is. They don't know what that is. So maybe you figured it out through trial and error, but some people are lost. But I'm not asking to give all your secrets away because I know it's competitive. But another thing also, when I looked at some, because I used to do it, but I used to get a lot of interest. But what I used to get when I was on there, well, I had a lot of guys who were lowballing me. So I didn't log in anymore. So I definitely was not consistent when I had my profile there. But what I did notice that did help me get more interest, like not money, but interest, is instead of having a static picture, I started putting GIFs on there.
Yep.
I started putting the GIFs from my videos and putting those on there like previews. And that got me more interest than anything else.
You need to, I think, and even if you're on CMD and you have fallen below that fold in the page, like literally I struggled to hit that 85, honest to God, struggled to hit that 80% payout for a long time. And now, I mean, it's not a problem for me. So you know, you can, even if you feel like you've blown it, you can revamp yourself. I just literally redid my whole profile. I streamlined everything. I think less is more. You know, paragraphs and paragraphs are writing. These guys don't read all of this information. They're not, you know, they're going to ask you the same questions whether you have it listed in your profile or not. So just make it as, you know, simple as possible, to the point, and have as many pictures and GIFs as you possibly can. Definitely have a video introduction, and bid, you know, and bid like strategically on a week that you know you're available, and commit to it, follow through, and just see what happens. And maybe, you know, you can, the best case scenario, and in my experience, because I have bid a lot, and I've, you know, and then I've not bid and not needed to or whatever, you know, use that 1 week. Don't think of it as like, I'm only making money when I bid. What you want to do is build a business from that 1 week. Bid, be online, be visible, get as many shows as you possibly can, and then, you know, use that momentum to then go forward. Because realistically, you shouldn't need to bid every week. Some models do, and all the power to them, whatever works for you. I mean, everybody's in charge of their own business and they have to do what works for them. But really, it should be, in my opinion, a way to just give yourself a leg up and build that momentum to go forward, to then keep ranking higher and higher until, you know, you're consistently always above that fold.
Girl, you dropping gold on this moment. So that's good, because it's like, but it's like it's a different, it's unique. Independent is very different. It's not exactly the same, but it's still similar to, like, if you're working on one of the big box sites, it's like consistency. And when you start building that momentum, it's almost like you can't really take time off though. It's like you have a good day, like, oh yeah, I made $300 today, I'm going to take time off tomorrow. You really can't. You really can't when it starts in the beginning sometimes. So
I get that, and and my beautiful friend Amber Lily gave me tremendous advice when I very first started. I love her so much. She said to me, like, Jessica, when you like, if you're having a good day, like, I used to have that mentality too, like, oh, I had a great day, I can take like the next 2 days off because I've like tripled my goal. That is exactly when you do not take time off. You need to ride that wave and ride it all the way to the end. And that's the truth. Like, because all these sites, you know, cam sites, indie sites, they're all based on rankings, and when you're at the top of the page, that's when you got to get that money. Like, utilize that and take it for all it's worth until you're tired, and then take a break. Like, don't burn yourself out. But just utilize that. You know, you earn that placement, that spot. So just keep going, girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, because like that's because I've been guilty of that. Like, I killed it today, and then like you log in and you're just sitting there like, oh, this is bullshit.
Exactly. I know. You just shot yourself in that. I've done the same thing. I've learned the whole way many things, but that's my experience. That's my advice to anybody. But the beauty of CamModelDirectory and why I love it so much is, let's say you get sick and you have to take 2 weeks off, and you have no ranking. You have the chance to go on there and bid and be seen. You're not in the oblivion for the rest of your life. You know, you do have that opportunity. And I know not everybody likes to bid, and some people think it's, you know,
you have to spend money to make money sometimes.
Exactly, and that's what I love. I love that ability is there from, you know, the model like who I was a year ago, in the middle of the oblivion, to like get a leg up and find a way to be successful.
Let me ask you. So this is one thing, like when it comes to like customer retention, because like again, when you're independent and you have access to a customer list off a CamSite, which is a wonderful thing about independent camming, is that you don't really have to adhere to too many rules. You have access. You can contact your customers. So I'm wondering, this is what I do. Like if I haven't heard from them in a while, I might send them a gentle nudge or like a, hey baby, what's up? That was really, or I remind them like that was really hot last time or something like that. What do you do for customer retention? Like, what's your game plan?
That's definitely it too. Like, and just keeping, you know, I have a list of my favorite guys who, you know, I always keep at the forefront of my mind, and I think, okay, I haven't heard from them for a while. I wonder what they're up to. Or sometimes I'll send a little picture, or just, how are you? Hope all is well. Like, had an amazing time last night, or I was remembering that, you know, like basically what you did, like what you're saying. And then another thing is, I try to get my social media out there as much as possible. So like, even if it's, whether it's having it in your Skype mood, or you have to be careful about that, but, or even just sending it to guys like,
what do you mean be careful about that? Because I never change mine. I feel like I should do it, but I never do. I just keep that, I keep it the same.
Well, the thing is, I don't,
to be honest.
You know how Skype, sometimes accounts get shut down. So I wonder sometimes if I have my social media handles in there, is that like a, you know, if anybody was looking and then they went there, what would they see? So I'll take it in and take it out, take it in and take it out. But I do try to let them know, you know, I am on Twitter. This is my handle, because I think that's, or Instagram or wherever, Snapchat, wherever you are. I think that's a great way to, for customer retention, because if they can follow you there, then they're going to see your tweets, they're going to see, you know, your posts, and they're going to remember you, and it's just going to be like a jog their memory. I haven't spent any time with Jessica in a while. Oh, she looks super hot in that picture. Let me send her a message, you know, and that's the best way I have found to utilize social media. You know, I have definitely gotten customers from social media. In fact, it's probably one of my top sources of new clientele, but also more so it helps me maintain relationships.
Girl, I'm loving talking to you. Because I see your hustle, and I think I got it pretty, I think I kind of understand it, and I think that's why I like it. But like, I talk to so many people who, you know, you try to like gently nudge other models to break out of their comfort zone, and don't be afraid. Social media is not bad. It doesn't have to be all time consuming. It can be subtle. It can be, you can go full blast, because there's so many models you know, like I've made my earnings from mostly independent and being out there and social with guys and just talking to them. Like I treat like Sky Private, I keep wanting to say Sky Private, Instagram Live or something like that. Why? It's because I'm looking at the Sky Private button. Let me close this. Saying it. That's what it is. I'm like, why do I keep bringing that site up? Which is not a bad site. Also in the Bullion Models program. But anyways, I treat it like Instagram Live, and then I used to do Periscope. I treat that like my free chat.
Yes, exactly.
I do it in limited bursts, like maybe 20 minutes. Do something silly. I'll let them watch me at the dog park. Like there was dogs, like there was this corny bulldog doing crazy stuff, like trying to hump everybody there. Not dogs, but people.
Yeah.
So I turned my phone on, and like all these guys were like laughing and making all these comments, and then next thing I know, I had shows that day, and it had been really slow. And I'm like, fuck yeah, because they want to see that there's like more to you than just the pretty pictures. They want to know that you're human. And they also want to know that you actually want to be involved in their lives a little bit to an extent, you know.
Interact. You can't. It's a fine line. You know, you want to interact and you want to give some of yourself away, like because you want people to feel comfortable and get to know you, but it's a fine line between, you don't want to give away the farm either, like. So that's the thing I struggle with, because I'm always trying to find that balance.
I was talking to someone recently, another one of my she's not a Canadian crush, but she's one of my Twitter crushes, and she's a hustler and she works really, really hard. And I was talking to her recently, and she is like a machine. And we were talking about giving away too much and what ends up happening. And then she was talking about how things are slow, and we were talking about, well, maybe it's part of this time of the year, which does affect it. A lot of people need to understand, like right after Christmas, right at January 1st, it might be like a sharp drop.
Yeah. People get those visa bills, baby, and then it's like,
it has to be a slow climb back up. But like she was talking about how she's trying all these things, and she's hustling, she's promoting all this content, and her numbers are down. And I was just like, you might just be oversaturating. You might be doing, you know, it might be doing a little too much, you know what I mean? But that's just me. Who do I know? But that's her business plan. But we were actually like, we were having an honest conversation about it. And I was just like, yeah, sometimes you just gotta like hang back, you know, before you burn yourself out. Because then when you start burning yourself out, you start putting anything out there and just throwing it out there.
And people can, you know, you're desperate. That is the one thing I know 1,000% in this business and in life, is your vibe is everything. If everybody's ticking you off, and you know, one guy ticks you off and you're in a bad mood, like I may as well just log off, because I am not going to make any money that night. That's just it. But if I can get myself in a good mood, my vibe's good, and I'm, you know, like excited for the night to see what happens, that's when I do well. It's when you circle out of control, like it's like a downward spiral, and I find it. And when I get there, when I get burnt out and I'm tired and I'm annoyed by the slightest thing, that's when I make no money at all, and I find it so hard to climb back up. So I think the biggest thing, and if you ever figure this out, please let me know, is like to figure out how to not get to that point, and just to, you know, be able to stay always in that positive mindset. I don't think anybody
has that. I think nobody knows how to do
I try so hard, but I can't do it every day.
There are narcotics or something. There's no way.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I'm sorry, calling it real. Nobody knows how to do that. Like, and I mean, if somebody says like, yeah, I'm happy all the time, I'm always in a good mood, I'm like, girl, sure. Yeah. What do you got? I want some. But nah, you just gotta. I think you gotta know how to turn it off. You gotta know when to log off and just walk away.
And that's my biggest thing. Is like I'm the opposite. Like some people have to, you know, get it up, be able to get it up to log on. I'm like, I need to know when the hell to log off, because I just keep going and going, and it's like, oh, but I'm having a great day. Maybe I can do, you know, I hit this goal. Maybe I can hit X, Y, and Z goal. But, you know, I did this much yesterday. Well, maybe I can do that much tomorrow. And, well, I mean, you know, I'm always reaching for more and more and more, which is not always the best. And it's like recipe for burnout.
Right. That's what I was talking. That's what I was saying. I was having a conversation with this particular model. Like, she was saying the same thing. Like, I watch her from afar, and I'm like, I'm pretty happy with the numbers that I make, and she's pretty phenomenal. But I'm just like, dude, like, at some point, it's like you're making the money. Like, you know, if you're making your goals and you're hitting your goals, it almost isn't worth it when you get emotionally burned out and drained. Yeah, because then you can't make any money for a couple of days or a week while you recover. So.
Yeah, and that's it. I hit, for me in CMD, I hit top 10, top model, January and February, and I just worked like crazy. And then
congratulations. I think I saw. I saw you posting about that.
It was December and January, and then I kind of burned out, and I just kind of had to be more low key.
How was your February? February was like crazy bad vibes. Juju for me. It was like some crazy stuff going on, personal life and online, and I was just like, what the hell is going on February?
I just had to kind of take a step back, but now I'm back in the upswing again. I think I just did.
Yeah, like I had a crazy. I'm not saying like financially, but it was just like I had like some crazy personal stuff going on, and then online, like I had some other stuff. I'll just put it out there, some little juicy stuff. Someone was taking my intellectual properties. I found that out. And then in my personal life, someone had taken something from me. I was like, it's like Robin season in February.
That's right and center, like in every aspect of your life.
I'm like, what the fuck? It's Black History Month. Give me a break. But like, come March, you know what I mean? It's been great. Like March has been awesome. But like I had great holiday season through October all the way through January. I didn't experience much of a slowdown like some people did. But then February was like, what the fuck do you want from me, world?
I know. That's exactly.
What were you saying last year? What happened last year?
Last Christmas, it was like I really felt like kind of really slowed down for the month of December, but this December was like my best month ever.
December 2017, you're saying?
Yeah. This past December was amazing. It was the previous December that was awful. And then same thing, January was like out of this world. So it's funny how from year to year how things change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was on a good swing, but I was like, I guess nothing can
truly last forever.
Exactly. Like February was so bad, I was like, I just didn't even want to leave the house.
We don't have to leave the house if you can get delivery. You don't, girl. You don't have to.
Yeah, I don't have to, but I'm actually really social. I have like another gig that I have to leave the house, but I'm also like really a social person. But it got kind of crazy.
Well, hopefully you're on the other side of all that now.
Yeah. I am for sure. Like I said, March has been really phenomenal, working on like new projects and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just laughing at what a difference that last month was to this month. I just started listening when you said that like you were you had your top 10 for December and January, and then February just like bloop, like Exactly. So I wonder how many of us had that same experience. Like, do you believe in retrograde? Do you believe in Mercury and retrograde? I'm not an expert. But,
no, I don't know enough about all that.
Okay, because I was wondering, like, I wonder if there was something going on with communication.
Or the moon cycles or something like that. I don't know, but it just was odd.
Because there was one other person that I talked to too, and they were like saying the same thing for the month of February. So, anyways, but that's enough. The bad vibes are behind us.
Yes, we're on greater pastures.
Yeah. Well, listen, we are coming to the end of our podcast, and it's been great. I'm glad we finally got to talk again. This is Jessica Jade. Go ahead, tell people what is your Twitter handle?
Yeah, well, my Twitter handle is @IamJessicaJade. My Instagram is exactly the same. And you can find me on CamModelDirectory. The link to my profile is skypejessicajade.com. And my personal website is jessicajade.live.
Damn, girl, go ahead.
Yeah.
You got it all you got like all the domains and stuff. Like, that's another thing. Yeah, you got to buy your domain names too. Even if you're not getting a website.
Yeah. And just redirect yourself. I mean, it's worth the $10, believe me, because especially for a place like Snapchat or wherever where you can't actually, necessarily, or Instagram where you can't actually post a clickable link. It's super easy for people to remember to like write down.
This is when I'm talking to you. I'm thinking like, I keep hearing your bubbles from your Skype. I keep thinking like, is this girl like missing money talking to me right now?
No, it's all good. They can wait. But the one thing I just wanted to say before we're done, I just want anybody to know who's like struggling live camming or doing free chat or any of those sites. If that's not working for you, try Skype, because literally, if I hadn't have tried Skype, I would be long gone. There is a place for everybody. It's just trial and error and trying to find your spot in the industry. Some cam models, are horrified at Skype and love free chat, vice versa. You just got to find your own niche and what works for you. Just don't give up. Keep trying. There's a different route for everybody, you know, to success, and it's possible.
Oh, I'm in love with you.
Aww.
Thank you so much for that, for telling people that, you know, that's really nice. So again, this is the end of Shit Guys Say to Cam Girls, although we didn't talk about that a lot. We don't always have to talk about that. We don't always have to, like, you know, shit on guys, but
I can tell you stories.
But you're coming back though. You're going to be back on here. I already know you're coming back on here. I'm going to catch you again for another episode. So yeah, this has been awesome. So this is Taja Ethereal with Shit Guys Say to Cam Girls and the wonderful independent cam model Jessica Jade, and I hope you have a wonderful night, and thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Bye bye.